All right, Swiggy, we are live Wednesday, December 14th, 2022 at 8:01 p.m. I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. I am your host, OUFlagGuy, and I'm joined tonight by Swiggy. Swiggy, we got a lot to talk about. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. So let's get the first thing out of the way. How was the rest of your weekend all the way to Wednesday since you joined Sean and I on uh, Sunday?
You know what? It was, it was really good. Had a good day. Had had a good week so far. Been busy and stressful. Unfortunately, we got the news yesterday. Rest in peace, Michael Leach.
Rest in peace, Mike Leach. Indeed, rest in peace, the pirate. And that's
Yeah,
going to be a topic we will discuss tonight. With it, and it was sad because when you really read about it,
yeah.
he passed away on Sunday, and they were just keeping him alive
Oh
to be able
yeah,
to organ donate from it.
yeah.
Now, whatever the reason is for, like, could they not get doctors there? Could was it like a procedure type of deal? Did they need like permission from the family based on his will? I don't know. That's not my business. I don't care for it. It's
Yeah.
regardless of it's very sad. Um, we lost a very impactful person on college football world for it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll discuss some Mike Leach stuff tonight. Um, for besides that, how else has everything been? Okay.
Everything. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Everything's been fine. Not a whole lot of, not a whole lot of crazy, not a whole lot of crazy stuff. Just been, just been, just been a good week. And of course
Yeah.
tomorrow, tomorrow is the biggest day of the year, Avatar Day.
Are you looking forward to Avatar Day to see the
Uh,
blue people?
the blue.
The blue
Hey,
people.
hey, I'm just gonna say this. I've been on the Avatar 2 train for years. You can't join me now just because it's getting good reviews.
Hey, I mean,
Uh,
I've seen some decent reviews about it.
yeah.
You'll have to give me feedback on it.
Uh,
It's just been crazy just in general because like
mm,
for me, uh I beat Pokemon Scarlet last night, and I have to say, Andrew, the thing about when you compare all the games with it, it's probably one of the best stories they've told in the Pokemon world with it.
um,
I mean, when you look at it, and I mean like the impact of like the main story, like your story,
yeah.
the side story, like the villain side story. When you
Oh
take a
yeah.
look at
Oh yeah.
supporting cast and the gimmick, it's a solid story, and I would rank it up there with the OG Red and Blue story, and Arceus easily.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Heard when the thing. Yeah. I heard when the thing runs right. It's fantastic. You have any You have any bugs or?
Yeah, it has crashed on me at least 5 times. I think two
Oof.
are
That's
off
right.
the top of my head.
Ooh, that's rough. For perspective, I haven't just for obviously totally different goals, totally different everything. I've had zero crashes in God of War Ragnarok. Um, yeah, it's sad. It's actually sad because I've heard great things about about this round of Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's just the bugs have been bad this time around, unfortunately.
I think some of it too is the system itself. It just can't support it. But I have to say I was proud of myself because I'm doing a Nuzlocke for it just to add a challenge to it and let me experience the game. And have successfully went through the Elite Four, and I was able to beat the champion. And then like it's still main story stuff.
Yeah.
My team at the end, I probably over leveled some to be prepared, but my final team was like a level 82 Azumarill, level 81 Dragonite, a my second because my first one got killed from a thunderbolt, but a level 72 Gyarados, a level
Hmm.
60 something Wigglytuff, a level 40 Finizen. That was just I needed something for number 6 just to start leveling up, and Finizen apparently is a really good poke, and then a level like 70 Arcanine
Oh, we
from it.
have. Oh, have some. Well, we do have one before we get to football. One last bit of nerd news tonight.
Hmm.
James Gunn has announced that they're going to be focusing on the earlier part of Superman's life again. So no Henry Cavill. They brought him back. They brought him back for no good reason. uh,
Yeah.
I'd
Let me
say
let me
that. I'd say
let me get
WB is run with people.
yeah, we'll circle to that too next because I was going to talk about that as next. But with Pokemon Rip It, I enjoyed it. I really liked how they got to the ending for it and everything. I was happy. I was happy with the story and everything. If the bugs and the glitches weren't with it, I would
Yeah,
definitely like recommend it with it. I think
I buy
once
it.
they come out with a patch, it will be good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. Once they, I mean, that's what I'm waiting for. Once they patch it, but I wasn't gonna wait. But I wasn't gonna, just spend my money to be frustrated. So
My absolutely proudest moment in my Nuzlocke was against the champion. Was it against the champion? It may be against the final Elite Four member. But my proudest moment was setting up a +4 Dragon Dance Gyarados against the rest of their pokes. I'm like, y'all are dying. There's nothing that's stopping like a quadruple attack to Gyarados. That my Raging Mermaid had her moment. So I had a lot of fun with that. But yeah, would recommend wait for the glitches to be patched. Call it a day. Um, you saw that too with it with Superman. I think they're not happy with I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think James Gunn wants to come do a complete reboot
oh, he
of
is. He
I
is.
think we're in like the how do I want to say it? We're like in the X-Men Spider-Man era with Fox, but with DC. And that yes, there are actors that people love. Gail Goddard, Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, they're gonna probably come in multiverse stuff, but
Oh,
not. I
nobody.
think he wants to
Oh,
completely
nobody.
trash it
Oh,
all.
nobody loves Affleck.
Oh, he was only the
I
best
joke.
part of that movie.
I joke. I joke. I mean, I like part of what Snyder did with uh, the thing. The problem with Snyder is he was about 10 years. He was about 10 years too early. If DC starts right about the time Marvel fatigue started, I think he could have pulled it off. Unfortunately, that's not what happened, and now we're just having Gunn do yet another reboot. Maybe Gunn has a plan. I hope he does, because yeah, I like good movies, but right now, you know, you know,
Yikes.
eh, I'm just gonna say here's the thing. If you're recasting everything, that's fine. I don't think that's necessarily bad, but the problem is, if you're burning down what little goodwill you have left, man, you better be ready with more good. Man, you better knock it out of the park.
Correct. And that's one of those
That's
things,
fine.
in my opinion, where I love it. I do enjoy the DC when it's good, but I do feel like it's so flawed they don't want to stick with it. And now my
That's
other
fine.
my third of it, because it's like circle, circle, circle. A third of it is it's the WB purchase with Discovery and HBO. I think they're slashing across
Oh,
the
that
board. If it's
oh that's
not Harry
oh,
Potter,
that's
yeah,
going so yeah, or Game of Thrones.
yeah,
That
it is
yeah
getting slashed.
yeah
And to be fair, I understand. I don't agree with it because it's the same thing with the animation, but I get it because it hasn't produced. It's lost money.
look. The problem is, like, this is what the problem has come to, and a lot of it has come to this. So streaming service. I'm gonna go with streaming
Hmm.
services have fooled so many people into thinking it, and they didn't realize you needed stuff to be able to keep people subscribed, and
Except for
then
Disney.
yeah, except for Disney. But it started. It's the problem is it started this horrible churn, and like okay, take Glass Onion, the sequel to Knives Out. Knives Out, surprise hit, made a lot of money.
Yeah,
Netflix bought the rights to it. That
yeah,
cost them $230 million to make. They put it in theaters for 1 week, and then they're just going to put it on Netflix around Christmas. And I'm like, how does that make sense? How does that how does that make fiscal sense? And that's just where we are with everyone right now. I think all of Hollywood's kind of realizing that the reason why Netflix worked was just because you
there
can
was
only
no
really
other.
you can only really
I
support
think.
one service for it, and for them it was easier.
Hmm.
But now you have to constantly come up with content, and
Right.
it's unfortunately that's where they are. That's where WB WB slashing everything. They're ruining relationships. They're going all out. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and I would
But
add into this. I would add into this with it. COVID is it's not in my circle, but COVID is part of it where we all knew the inevitable was coming, and it started in about 2015. We're like, why are we not releasing movies on streaming services at this point?
because they
They
don't make
have
money.
a place, but
Because
it's going to be like Broadway at this point.
because they don't make money. Because um, uh because you have to ask yourself here. Okay, would I rather Tom Cruise fought hard to keep Top Gun Maverick from going to streaming services, from being burnt off during the pandemic. That film made bank, and
Yeah,
I think that's where we're going to. I think we're going to start having a correction again, where you know what, it makes more sense. It makes more sense to try and release these movies in theaters, because instead of making sense on the dot, I mean, hell, and not. I mean, heck, I liked Obi-Wan.
I
That
haven't seen the rest of it, but it's good. What I've watched, it's good.
if that thing's a movie, it makes $800 million. That's
Correct.
instead they extended it out. They did what they could with it, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, instead they left a lot of money on the table, and I think that's what we're kind of coming to right now. But yeah, that's just where we are. So
Yeah, it is what it is, and there's not really a whole lot we can do about that at this point. Now, and here's another thing with it. And I know we'll get to football talk in a sec, guys. I know that's what y'all are here for. So we got to talk our pop culture stuff. But they knew this stuff was coming, and unless you're Disney's kind of the big exception to the rule because the '90s stuff is quality stuff.
hmm
They also forgot this little key fact, and this is my second circle, and it's what you kind of said, but I want to elaborate on it. You got to have content. Guess what? Pumping out content like that is expensive, and I
yep,
think they kind of forgot that detail, and even Disney did because they're even reeling back a little bit. And I think
yeah.
I don't know if I saw it as a what's it called, Andrew? Like a clickbait one, but it was like they're kind of going to be reassessing the next phase because of how poorly Phase 5 did or Phase 4 did. And to be fair with Marvel, I agree with that because COVID aside, they were not blockbusters. I think the best one was No Way Home,
The
and
effects were
that
bad.
was
The effects were bad.
correct. The effects suffered because they wanted it so fast, and that's another matter entirely. And then of
Yeah.
course the final circle, by the way, with WB with Superman and Batman and all that. A lot of it is James Gunn just has a different vision and he just wants to change it. And I think
Oh, he
he's just
does.
dropping everything.
Oh, he does. Oh, he does. And hey, you know what? I don't necessarily disagree with Gunn. I'm just saying, man, dropping that Batman Beyond movie, you're writing a big check. You're writing a big check, man. Hope you can cash it.
Yep. Yep. And that's very true. Now, last bit of pop culture stuff with it, and then we'll hop into the football. My weekend was also good because after beating Pokemon Scarlet from it, I did see that they announced the Pyra and Mithra amiibos tonight, and I'm over the moon. I'm just like, Xenoblade waifus? All right. So, just have like a billion of them on my wall, Mithra and Zamas, top two waifus. I'm just saying. And yes, I do use that term. Do not care. I know. Nerd. But yes. But the other thing too, Andrew, and I'm about to bring you down. I'm really about to bring you down.
Oh boy.
The other thing is I am number one for the first time in our fantasy league for 6 years, go into the bye week number one because it seems like across and in general, it seems like from everybody I've talked to, there's one person who got double digits. Everybody else was single digit wins. I was the one person in my league, guys, who got 12. I had it 12 and 2. I only lost to you once, and then Miracle Muffins, Kayla, on the last weekend of the regular season, which didn't affect me because everybody was injured.
I, I'm a
But
fan.
I'm bringing you down because fantasy football is a silly sport, isn't it, Swiggy?
I yeah, this is whenever I say I don't gamble, this is why, because third most points in the league, that everything general idea was correct. Unfortunately, I missed the playoffs. but it happens. I
But you
mean,
were the third highest scorer.
yeah, and for yeah, the problem is I ran into like I had 2 weeks where I could have maybe won. I left like 30, 40 point guys on the bench. That doesn't go into the score, but but it does, but it did, but it did, that cost me at least one game. Um, and a couple others, Joe Mixon gets 50 points. Josh Jacobs gets 40 points.
Yep,
I There's not a lot I can do with that. So,
correct. You also hit the bad weekends and stuff for that, and
yep,
I don't. That's just I've had
yeah.
it happen to me. It's just sometimes that's how the schedule just randomly picked for it. Like
For
that just it is what it is from it.
for perspective, in my other fantasy league where I drafted with pretty much the same strategy, uh, we do we have a few different things in that league, but because we have some pay, because it's a paid league, we have some payouts. I made 75. I ended up making $75 in that league. So
Nice, nice.
you know what, I'd rather, I'd rather. I'm fine. So I'm still doing fine. I'm still doing fine.
Correct. And for people that don't know, in our fantasy league, we do pods and we do 3 or 4 pods of 3. Everybody faces each other 3 times throughout the year, so we can face everybody else 1 time. That's how we do fantasy. And honestly, that everybody likes that the most. It seems like they like facing it, and they don't face the people from their pod half the time because of that new week they added in. It kind of messed up everything. So it was some people got everybody, some people had to face one more person from their pod last year. But everybody seems to like it. And it's just, how did you draft? Well, like me, people passed on Josh Allen. I got Josh Allen. He's been balling.
I mean, I'm just more annoyed I wasted Jalen Hurts this year, because that was probably one of the Jalen Hurts has probably been one of my best picks of all time. But
Absolutely. Just like Josh Allen has been one of my picks with it. But I still stand by my strategies and stuff. But
yeah,
it's just that's the luck of the draw with it
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
You didn't realize Josh Allen's probably gonna be the number 1 point maker this entire season from it.
Eh,
But
yeah, yeah, but that's fun. Yeah, but that yeah. Also, other NFL news, and what's hilarious, you know, I try not to care about NFL Player of the Week awards, just
yeah,
because I don't. I just don't think it matters. Baker Mayfield winning and Baker Mayfield winning and winning the NFC Offensive Player of the Week is just high comedy.
I
Love
think
him. Love him. He had a great drive. Hey, I'll give him that. It was fantastic, fantastic drive. But
I think it's because they really want him to succeed.
I,
I really think they do.
it is. I know that. I know that. But it's kind of like, did you see what Brock Purdy did? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean that's a I mean that's a Bucks defense that's been fantastic. The Bucks aren't
It's been okay.
good.
It's been okay because I have the Bucks defense in fantasy, and they've been there. They're
Yeah,
not. They
but
haven't
still,
been world beaters.
But still, Brock Purdy throwing 30-yard bombs in
Yeah,
the NFL. That
Mr. Irrelevant.
evidence your dreams can come true, kids. Evidence your dreams can come true. Uh,
Unlike some Notre Dame and Iowa State fans, don't
oh,
sniff paint, kids. Don't sniff paint.
oh,
There was
oh,
some.
Notre Dame fans are salty if we did. If
If we
we
get Peyton Bowen, they are going to be absolutely salty.
it's uh, it's bad on their, like, I try not to put too much in the message boards, but Notre Dame's been bad the last couple of days.
Oh, we're 8-4, and we only lost to Marshall and Stanford by a combined points of 7. Guys, that's not the flex you think it is. That means that shouldn't have been that close. You still lost. Oh, no one's claiming that they beat a ranked OU. Yeah, they are. Like that's how TCU got into the playoff.
Yeah,
Of course, they're gonna claim that. They don't
yeah.
do that. They only claim it after the fact. Like if OU's ranked before. No, that's
That's not
not
how it
ever
works.
how it
That's not how it
works.
works.
Yeah,
Just just and hey, I get it's college football, and some people should not be allowed to follow college football, because some people can't handle it.
Well, and
And
I get, and it's one of those. It's the big brain mode. It's the big brain mode as well as the critical thinking of it, where guys, there's two. They used two criteria for it. It's during the week because yes, you may be the worst team in the world and play as the number one team. That's a thing any given day, and then
yeah,
you could be the number six team and play like crap, like we have.
yeah,
Like that happens. Um, that's that, but it's also too looking at it as a whole of a body of work. Yes,
yeah,
both should be considered, but when you face them, they were that because you are riding high on emotion. You are
yeah,
thinking you're confident for it, and it was a home game. Like there's a lot more to it.
yeah.
So, John, hey buddy, to answer your question, Sean is not referring to that. He was referring to AEW. They had a match tonight where AEW apparently I think it was something with Jericho, and he didn't expect them to actually let somebody win, and they did. That's what he's referring to. I think if Bowen was announced, we would be flipping out for it. I mean, he is kind of he's in the database, but it's probably waiting until next week.
If not, I mean, if you, I mean, right now, Notre, anything can happen. But the fact that Notre Dame fans seem to already be in coping mode,
Yeah,
like I said, it's not official. And like I always say, like I always say with recruiting, don't follow recruiting if you don't have the heart for it, because crazy things happen all the time. And like right now, oh boy, there's a lot going on with
right.
NIL. There's a lot going on with NIL right now.
Correct. And if it's true where they're saying they're now saying we're not coming because you're not offering them up, yeah, they're going to squash that real fast.
Yeah,
NCAA foaming at the mouth for that.
yeah, they're a room. Those Ohio State rumors aren't good. Couple, in case you're wondering, there have been some rumors that Ohio State missed out on a 5-star because they couldn't match what they couldn't come up with the money. I mean, obviously, grain of salt. Nobody, grain of salt. Nobody knows anything with this, and it could be wrong. So just always remember that. But if it, man, I mean, if that's true, that's a rough look. Because I can tell you right now, the last thing you
Yeah.
want, I can tell you, the last thing you want, the last thing if you're an Ohio State fan, the last thing you want are Ohio State boosters having more power over that program,
Oh, I
because
was going to say looking poor, but that works too.
I
Don't be
Ohio
poor.
number one, yeah, stop being poor. But number two, I can tell you right now, we had the rumors earlier in the year that Quinn Ewers was only starting because Texas boosters paid him the NIL money or whatever, and they want him to start over card. Uh, we don't know that for a fact; those are just rumors. But you know, but I can tell you right now, if you give Ohio State, if Ohio State fans try and flex that power over a weak coach, oh, it's going to be bad. Ohio State
Correct. And
fans, Ohio State fans are not exactly the most understanding people in the world.
that's why I said that uh I really don't like NIL. I understand that the purpose of what it is not what it's being used for, and that's why I public. You're a bitter college student or a graduate. Yeah, but at the same time, I also realize that very few kids coming out of high school on their senior year are $1 million on their athlete. They haven't earned it. Like outside of very few, like even LeBron and Kobe, they weren't $1 million. They had to go play and show their skill coming straight out of high school from it.
No,
NFL's the same way.
not true.
Show me first.
Not true. Not true. Not true. Not true on LeBron. LeBron's Nike deal before he even played a minute in the game. Let's see, LeBron. I'm looking. I'm double checking this here, because yeah, he signed before he even played in his first NBA game. He got a $90 million contract from Nike.
Well, you get where I'm going that
But
with
yeah,
it.
no, but yeah, I mean, I get where you're going, because there is a
Here,
difference.
I'll use a different one then.
There's a,
Sleepy.
I do want to say there is a difference between Nike, a major company, deciding to take a risk on a guy, as opposed to like boosters raising money. I do want to say there is a difference to that. So
Correct. Well, then let me put it this way: Sam Bradford, his rookie contract going into the NFL was a complete bust. I love Sam; he was a bust.
yeah,
And
he
guess
was.
what? That's why they've changed the rookie rules as a result of it. Like, you can't spend that much guys anymore. Like,
Well,
if he would have
the
done it, oh, it
Lions,
would have escalated. Absolutely. But because he was a bust, they're like, no, we're done with this shit. So
it wasn't just Sam. They've been going for years because the Lions were complaining that the Lions kept making bad draft picks, but
yeah.
because they were all high picks, they had so much money tied up into them, they couldn't do the free agent market.
Well, and you see where I'm going with that, though. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
help when
I
you're a
know where you're
guy
going. I know
bust.
where you're going.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah,
so
I see where you're going because I mean it's true. I mean because that's the thing. You get such a chance of a bust. It's rough. And right now it's not. I mean, NIL's not going to get any better. Or anything. I mean, I think NIL's
no.
going to get. I think NIL's going to get worse. And I don't even hate NIL the way you do. I, I'm mostly fine with it, but even I can see that. But like even I see the definite problems with it moving ahead. So
Yeah. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, I am all for, like, if they want to go sign autographs, who cares? Like,
yeah,
let them go sign autographs. If I, for those of y'all don't know, I'm a convention goer. Autographs are my thing. I
yeah,
mean, OU flag guy, my entire persona. But I like autographs. It's fun. I like interacting with the
yeah,
people, players. I have great stories like Antonio Perkins showing me during an autograph session, showing me his Big 12 championship
yeah,
rings and letting me wear them.
yeah.
Like, that's fun. You don't get that interaction otherwise for it.
No,
FYI, those things are damn heavy. But that all being said with it, I'm okay with autographs because if they want to charge it and people are willing to pay, that's a supply and demand thing. It's either going to increase, and there's different markets for it. There's the
I can.
quality of the signature. There's when you got it. Like a freshman signature and you can prove it, like Adrian Peterson, way different than NFL Adrian
I
Peterson.
got.
There's how they sign it
I
and
got no.
everything.
I got no problem with them making money off their jerseys. I just don't.
Right. I think the more I thought about that, they should get a cut for a jersey if
Yeah,
it's sold in the stadium for it, because then everybody
yeah,
wins. Hey, you get your name on the back or your
yeah,
signature
yeah,
T-shirt.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
marketing. I'm a-okay with that. I'm
Yeah,
okay with them doing local commercials, like
yeah.
passion on it. But these blank check stuff, no, no, that's not NIL. That is literally we're paying you to come play. No,
Oh, um,
no, no,
I wonder if Canes regrets the Rattler deal.
no. Yeah,
I'm just,
maybe,
I'm just curious. I'm just curious.
maybe, maybe.
I'm just curious, but yeah, no, I mean, yeah, because it might work out, or you might end up paying Spencer Rattler a lot of money for a handful of starts.
Correct. And that's
And
just it is what it is. But that's the
yeah,
risk you take, and that's where they're going to start
yeah,
reeling back a bit with it, where it's like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't like it. Now, me personally, again, I get it, but it's also, are we here to get an education, or are we here to play or be our job be football type of deal? I don't like the double dipping with NIL and their scholarship, but I have been vocal about that.
yeah.
I have said that many times, like, you should be able to get one or the other, or a hybrid where it's like, if you get a scholarship, you should be able to, if you get NIL after a certain amount, that affects into your scholarship, and that you should be able to accept that risk. Baker Mayfield could go make signatures all day. Um, Michael Turk, probably not. So that is my opinion on it. I've always been vocal. I don't like NIL. I also don't like the transfer portal as it is now, but I think it's a much better thing for it. I'm not Barry Tramel, who thinks the transfer portal is like a sin on the world, bro. Like, the
No,
entire
it's no.
point was to give players agency when they're, especially if their coach got fired.
Look, part of the thing with the transfer portal, a lot of people need to realize too. It feels worse. I think right now it feels worse than it is because we're in the early days of it, and you always have people trying stuff out more often. And you have and the thing is, don't forget a lot of guys got COVID exceptions too.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's so you have graduate, so you have graduate transfers. You have a lot of stuff a lot of stuff is played into some of what's been going on with the transfer portal. It's not all just I mean it's one of those things where it'd be super easy to just say well, this is the new world order. There are a few things that go with it, and and I mean, and just anytime you're starting anything new like this, people are going to try and take advantage, see what they can get. Uh, I mean, but I really think for the most part, other than some quarterbacks, it's gonna help mid-major guys. It's gonna help the Coastal Carolina players of the world, where it's like, oh yeah, we can get where they're able to move up to a bigger program than they would previously. So
But it was never just like NIL. The transfer portal was never a free transfer. That was never meant to be the case. But also, more important, it was never meant to be a second LOI. Essentially, like
yeah,
you signed with your school, you need to stick with it. Just like
it
these freshmen,
was
and like, bro, you
it
weren't
was
going to get playing time because you're a freshman.
it
Like,
was like I've said before, they they the NCAA had multiple options for years how to handle players getting paid and everything, and somehow,
correct,
some
correct.
way, and somehow,
They
some way
botched it.
we've ended up with the worst possible situation with NIL combined with the transfer portal. Which I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's a massive problem. But
I
yeah,
think it is. I think some of it too is that they did not expect the Supreme Court to rule with the players. I genuinely believe that, but that's a story for another day. For it,
yeah,
but point is like they both have problems. There is ways to fix them. The schools in the NCAA have to come to that agreement. If you can get us to a 12-team playoff, you can do that. So, um,
famous last
speaking,
words.
I know, right? I do want to talk a little bit though about like we the change subjects because we can talk NIL and
Yeah, continue.
transfer portal for hours and bitch and moan and gripe because we both went to OU and we were students. We can both bitch, moan, and gripe all day. I do want to talk about the season is over for us with it. Like it really doesn't matter what happens in the bowl game because there's so
No,
many opt-out guys for it.
no.
The team that's playing in the bowl game is not the team that was during the season. Otherwise, I'd save this for a couple of weeks. So I wanted to kind of recap a little bit some of the team positions and like who do you think was good, who do you think was okay, and who do you think was actually a liability? And here's my first question to you. Outside of the very obvious of Eric Gray, um, Billy Bowman, let's see, I have to bring up my other document too. I would say Drake Stoops, he would be a low end,
Hmm.
and probably I would say Turk at this point.
Hmm.
Are any of the other guys draft prospects? And I'm while we're talking, I'm going to get a drink. So,
Um,
would
not
you
really.
draft them? And
Not really.
I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but at the same time,
No.
are those people? Because like, look, Eric Gray's going to be a first round draft pick most likely.
I don't think Gray's gonna be
Well, let
first
me take
round
that
now.
back. Harrison, our O lineman, he is a what's it called? He's a draft pick.
Um, let me check. Let me check. I haven't checked too much. I haven't checked too much with the draft because I mean, right now, Eric. Gray's gonna be probably a third day guy,
Well,
probably 6th round.
I could see that too, but
Te-
he
teams just teams just don't value running backs anymore. They don't. Gray is good. He's not great. Harrison's probably gonna be a first round guy. I don't. Maybe early second. Um, that's
Yeah, 'cause
just
they don't value what's it called? The running back. Now, when I say Eric Gray, he's still going to get drafted for it
oh,
because
definitely, yeah, yeah.
what he did salvaged his after I think it was maybe Nebraska or after Nebraska when he had his true breakout game, it salvaged his season.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
It's I
I'm
mean,
sorry, I said season draft.
yeah, I
Draft.
mean, yeah, and, I just don't see Stoops getting drafted. Stoops definitely isn't getting drafted.
I'm talking about just guys who have prospects. I think Stoops could go undrafted free agent. I'm talking just in general with NFL. Like, if you're
Yeah,
an owner, would you
yeah.
give them at least a shot?
I, I mean, it's the NFL.
I would give
It's the
Stoops a
NFL.
shot.
They give a lot of guys shots, but the Sooners, I'd want Harrison definitely. Uh,
Um, not Wanye.
I
Wanye is
think
a liability.
I would. Wanye is interesting. Wanye is interesting to me because OU normally makes good linemen. I wouldn't I wouldn't take like a big draft pick. I wouldn't waste like a first or second on him. But if I get him in the sixth round, I take a flyer on the sixth round. But I mean some of that behind the scenes character stuff, I don't know enough. So
Right. Okay, let me throw it to you this way then.
I mean
Um,
Mims I take Mims definitely feels like a solid fourth round guy, maybe third, maybe third.
I
I feel
feel
like I'm underestimating
well. Let's jump.
Mims a
Let's start
bit.
there. Let's jump wide receivers. I I have a gut feeling he hasn't spoken. I feel like he's obviously going to play. I think he's gotten word like you need more tape.
Yeah, I
For
mean
us to
it's
give you a draft grade. I think it's 50-50 at this point for him to return or to go. Now, I'm
yeah,
leaning more for him to go, but he wouldn't be playing in the bowl game unless they told him you need more.
yeah. I mean that's the thing with Mims is that wide receiver is such a tough position, and I guess this is the question. This is always the question these guys have to ask themselves: is coming back going to help me enough to justify it?
I would
Because
say with Mims, yes.
because of me because like yeah, I mean like with Mims, I have Mims as a third. Mims is probably gonna be a third, fourth round guy right now, depending how things shake out. And I mean, if that's as high as he can go, then leave. I mean, just leave, get the money, move on, do what you have do what you have to do. I'm blaming you guys for that, but
No, I'm never going to blame a guy for that. Go get your money essentially.
yeah,
But
mhm. But it's like the same thing. I think. I mean, Rattler hasn't Rattler hasn't committed yet in South Carolina. Yeah, I know, kind of circling around on that. But but Rattler kind of has the same issue where this isn't a great QB year, but
not.
I feel like well, I mean, looking at it, looking at QBs coming out, Stroud's going to be Stroud's good. Young is good. People are going to talk. People are going to talk themselves into the Kentucky guy because that's what we do. That's what we do. I mean, that, that's what we do. That's what we do. Literally every single year when it comes to positions. We talk.
Right.
We talk ourselves into these guys. We say, "Oh, yeah, it's a oh yeah, this we especially QBs. I mean, that's why Daniel Jones went in the first round.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let me see, because I mean, but I mean, right now, you know what? I mean, looking at Rattler, it's definitely. I mean, like if I'm Rattler right now, let me get.
Well, what about Mims? In your opinion, he would be drafted.
Yeah,
Where would he be drafted at? Do you think you say third round? Do you
third
think
or fourth round. Third or fourth
low
round.
end
Yeah.
second?
Sorry, what?
Would you say low, maybe even second round, depending on this upcoming class? Is this going to
No,
be a
no,
receiver
I
class?
don't. No, I
It
don't.
seems like wide
No,
receivers are needed.
no, I don't think right now from what we've seen from Mims, he he is not. He's just not. He's just not there. I mean, he's not. I mean, he's not top 10 in wide receivers at all. I mean, Mims is down there right now. He just is. It's I that's why I agree with you. I think Mims has it. I think there's a good shot that Mims comes back. Because when you're in Mims' position, you need to you need to have you need to have really good tape because wide receiver, it's just not something. It's just not something that people. Not that there's not value in it, but if you're not like a guy wide receiver, people don't like to risk you and draft you. I mean, yeah, I mean take
I
yeah, I
mean,
mean
Mims is the 26th best wide receiver this year, based on just yards alone.
that depends it depends how the NFL sees him.
Gotcha.
Depend It all depends. Just because yards don't mean anything. A lot goes into it. You have to have your ability to break. You have to have speed. You have to have your ability to get open. Height height does become a thing. Um, I don't know. I mean, some people. I am looking at a few. Some people think Mims is and that's the thing. So they have Mims as the seventh best wide receiver. Um, other boards, other boards have him. Other boards have him a bit. Other boards have him a bit more down. Um, Pro Football Focus does not. He's not top 10 on Pro Football Focus. So.
I think what hurts Mims
Mhm,
this year, which is why I also say he could return, he
mhm.
only had 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
That's concerning. For
yeah,
it. Now, yards wise, it was great, and I believe his average, he was getting almost 19.3 yards a game. I
yeah,
think that's definitely something that they would look at. Again, a rest comes into play with it as well.
yeah. It's
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, and
height and all that. But that is something to consider with that. I think Marvin, if he went today, yes, he would get drafted.
oh,
Would he
definitely,
be top
yeah,
2 rounds? No, third. Yeah, I could say third round. Um,
yeah, yeah. I mean, because you're always looking for wide receivers, but admit Mims has some things that people like. But like I said, I've seen. I mean, just going through some of them, Mims look. Mims look for some of them. You have Mims who are looking. Some people like Mims.
some people don't.
Other yeah yeah other people really don't like. But that's the draft, and the one thing with Mims where I could see him going if he thinks he can have a really good combine, if he thinks he can have a really good combine or a really good workout, because that's the
Yeah,
kind of, you know, people still fall for that. But but I mean, wide receiver is just a tough position for perspective. AJ Brown, he went in the second round for. I mean, come on.
I mean, he was
What?
a steal.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. In the second round, for the second round. That's Mims is definitely look. Mims is definitely going. Mims is definitely getting draft. Mims will get drafted
If
tomorrow
he goes, if
if
he
he goes.
goes,
If he goes. If he, I want to be clear. If he goes,
it
yeah,
it's the difference of money, like guaranteed money, essentially,
yeah,
is what it is, and who sees. Speaking of other wide receivers, though, if I look at the list, because I want to kind of go over that. If we have to, we'll do offense tonight, defense next go around. But
that's fine.
obviously Farouk, he's not going to the NFL because he's
No,
only a sophomore. Um, my question: did he earn his starting spot? I would say yes.
overall, yeah, he had some. Overall, I mean, he had some. I mean, he had some bad. He had some drops. He had some bad
Drops,
moments.
correct.
But
But his breakaway speed and his stuff was good.
yeah, plus it's college. I mean,
And
you just have to deal with some of that in college.
well, and to be fair, he was Dylan Gabriel's go-to guy.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
think he earned his starting spot.
oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. And again, I'm looking at the full roster. Um, so Drake Stoops. I think now NFL wise, I think he could go as an undrafted free agent. I think he would be on a market because you never know. Willing to give him a little risk, and I think name alone would do that.
Some.
Did he earn his starting spot? Yes, I
Yeah.
absolutely believe that.
Oh yeah.
Is he draftable?
No, no, I do not. No, I don't see. I don't see Drake Stoops as draftable right now. I mean, he's a good guy. I could definitely some teams gonna take a flyer on him as an undrafted free agent. He'll get invited to a camp just because.
Of his name?
Yeah, I mean, you have the name factor, and he did, and and they like guys from big schools. They like it's like it's like I'm sure some coach going to talk himself into thinking, well, yeah, he could be a good slot guy, a la Wes Welker if he bulks up a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, it's not like I don't think it's going to happen for him. I hope I'm wrong. I always hope Let me be clear. I always hope I'm wrong about stuff like this, but. Yeah,
Right. Right. Right.
Stoops just
Right.
but yeah, Stoops just doesn't. There's just not. I just don't see anything. I just don't see Stoops go. I just don't see Stoops getting anything minus undrafted. So
Do you? I don't remember seeing him because he was a freshman. I don't remember really seeing Jane Gibson a whole lot. Um, Trayvon West, I don't remember seeing him a whole lot.
mm,
Um, Nick Anderson, freshman again. I don't remember Gavin Freeman. Don't remember seeing him. Bunkley Shelton, I don't remember seeing him. I know they've had some stuff from it, but it's not enough where they earn their starting spot or with it. Now the last one, it's gonna be a controversial pick. Theo Weeks. I
he's going
do
to
not. Yeah, I don't
he's
think
going
he
to
has a starting
Missouri,
spot.
but no, I don't think
Yeah,
he did.
no,
No.
I want to extend to that. I think that is a genuine look. I don't know what goes into the transfer process. I claim I do. I wish I did. I'm not. If there's my true Achilles heel, it is X's and O's, which I'm hoping to get better at over the offseason to really go into schemes and looking at the numbers for it to get better content. But also too, I just feel like sometimes it's a step down because who's going to pass to him? That quarterback there at Missouri is not good, and even with the other guy, they're not good. What is he expecting? It's like Hazelwood. What are you expecting going to that? I'm not saying OU's the end all be all. Don't get me wrong, but it feels like a
relation
genuine step down.
relationships, relationships. Maybe they like the state, have a family member who's there, money. You just never know. You could talk about guys' reasons until the cows come home.
Yeah,
You're never going to get anything. Why did Bo Nix? It's like, I mean, okay, Oregon's good, but I would still ask the question: Why did Bo Nix decide that I'm going from the deep South Auburn to the Pac-12 Oregon? And don't get me wrong, like I said, don't get me wrong, Oregon's good. Oregon's a good
mhm.
team. No one should, it's like, I mean, Oregon's a good team. There's nothing wrong with Oregon. Oregon is, I mean, Oregon's a great team, but at the same time, I mean, was that, it's like, was Oregon his only option at that point? Was and some of it might be with that they want, some of it they want, some of it may be Weiss wanted a new. He just wanted, he just wanted a fresh start somewhere. He wants somewhere new, and Missouri might
Yeah,
have been the best team. That may have been, may that may have been the best team for it. That may have been the best team who even talked to him. And
correct.
if that's what it is, well, you know what? That's just the, that, I mean, that's what he wants to do. So more power to you. I mean, if that's what you if that's what you want to do, go nuts. I have no problem. I have no problem with guys who I have no problem with guys who want to do that. But yeah, mhm. But there always is the chance for a step down. But at the same time, there's a chance for a step up. I mean, Penix Jr. Penix Jr. He left Indiana to go to Washington, and I mean,
Yeah,
and that's a move that seemed to pay off. That's a move that's paid off for him so far. So yeah, I mean, you just don't know.
you
You
don't
just
know.
don't know. Yeah.
But did he earn his starting spot at OU based on his entire play? Injury aside,
No,
I don't think so either.
he was fine. I mean, he was fine. He
He
was,
dropped a lot.
yeah,
He dropped more than Farouk did.
yeah.
He couldn't get hit in his lanes, in my opinion.
Mm,
Again, we're doing just a lot of surface level stuff just because it's a live stream, but he just could not. In my opinion, he was the second string guy this year,
yeah.
which is another 5-star bust for OU. Anyway, next up
Everyone,
then at
everyone,
this
everyone,
point,
everyone has 5-star busts at some point.
yep. So here's my next question. All right. So he obviously earned his spot, but I'm going to give you a different question on it. I'm going to twist
Hmm.
it. Is Dylan Gabriel's spot in danger with Jackson Arnold coming in? In a
No,
genuine way, do you think he's endangered of losing it day one? Unless
no,
Jackson Arnold is like the second coming
no.
of Tom Brady, essentially, except for college.
It's a no. I mean, it's very hard for any true freshman to come in. I don't believe. I honestly don't believe he's in any danger of losing it, because that's the thing. Gabriel was, all in all, Gabriel had flaws this year, and hey, we've talked about Gabriel's flaws a lot this year.
Just a little bit.
He still had some good, still had some pretty solid moments. Gabriel's biggest problem was he never really had that. He didn't have enough of a complete game. But I don't. But just looking at it right now, I just no. I mean, he's not. Arnold's good, but even 5-star quarterbacks, when they come in, coaches don't like to make that change until they absolutely have to, because you're throwing a young guy out there, and you don't know, how he's going to react. And it's unfair to some guys, because you don't want to have a guy lose his confidence because because you just had to throw him out there because
Right.
Gabriel had a bad half quarter against Iowa State, which
Right. Right. And did he improve is kind of the question.
I
I
thought.
go back.
Yeah, I thought the one. I'll say this: at no point did I feel that Gabriel gave up this year. That
Yeah, there was other players, in my opinion, that gave up.
so I guess that's why I feel fine with him, because at no point did I feel Gabriel. He did not give up at all this year. He stayed. He stayed in there even when stuff started going bad, like against Oklahoma State. He was still out there. He was still trying to make plays. Unfortunately, didn't you know? Unfortunately, we had some. You could question the play calling. You could question some other things. But at no point did I feel that Dylan just went and was just like, "Nah, I'm done. I'm going home." It's no,
Yeah.
he did not do that. So I would not get rid of Dylan. Um, I think Dylan's done it. I think Dylan did everything. Dylan did as much as he could this year, and not everything worked out. Unfortunately, I mean, if everything worked out, we wouldn't be talking about how disappointing things were this year. Uh,
Right. I mean,
but
and that's just it is what it is for it. Like
mhm,
there's only so much we can expect from it.
no,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he was never in danger of losing his spot.
no,
Spoiler alert, guys, Nick Evers was not taking his spot. Um,
no, he wasn't.
let's kind of go to the last one. So obviously Eric Gray, we don't have to say anything about Eric Gray. Eric Gray earned his spot.
Hmm.
And Eric Gray is going to get drafted.
Yeah,
Here's my question. Did
late, but yeah, he'll be drafted late, but yeah, he'll be
correct. He
drafted.
will be drafted late. But he earned his spot. Here's my question. Here's my next question. Javante Barnes, Marcus Major, who's second string? Because I would say both of them earned their starting spot. But who is second string? And I would if you would have asked me early season, I would have said by and large Marcus Major. And you can quote me on that. We've talked about that. But with the season as a whole, I would say Javante Barnes
Yeah,
is
Javante,
the
yeah, Barnes.
clear. Major, I think, was great. And then let me go backwards. Eric Gray was this, and then he finally had the breakout game and finally became the running back we thought he was going to be for 2 years. It
Yeah,
took him, 1.5 years, but it finally made it. Marcus Major to me was this, and then he plateaued.
yeah,
It did not make sense to him anymore. Javante Barnes to me was like a very minor, like what, a 10 degree, but he kept going up. There was no plateau with him.
yeah, Major seemed to peak, and then that was just it. It's and yeah, it's I like the idea of Major, but that's the thing. There's one thing with OU's history since the time I've been in school where, man, we've had talented running back, just not all working at the same time. But
Outside of Mixon and
yeah,
Samaje
yeah,
at that point.
well, that was good. Yeah,
Correct, but that's an exception. I understand what you mean.
yeah,
Braden Willis, obviously he earned his
yeah,
spot. Absolutely earned his spot. He was a great tight end. Um, I don't remember seeing a lot of Daniel Parker. I think it was a lot of Braden Willis.
yeah. It
So
was
now,
mostly Willis.
all right. So here's my next question. All right. So this one's an easy one. Rame was obviously the clear starter because Conjul just sucks at being a center. I mean, there's no middle ground with it. Conjul snapping the ball and over and having snap problems for Dylan really hurt Dylan. It's very clear who was the starter. Like, there's not even arguing there.
Yeah.
So, did I think we both can agree as well. McCade Matauer did not earn his spot. He should have been benched. In theory.
I mean, in theory, there are a lot of guys who should have been benched, but it's college.
Correct.
It's college. You take what you can get.
Would you have gotten Savion Bird or Bray Walker maybe? Maybe not Bird because he's a redshirt freshman, but Bray Walker, he was a senior. Give him a shot over McCade.
I
Maybe.
don't know. Unfortunately, it's one of those things I'd have to. I don't know. I don't know what went on in the back end. I don't know what went on in the background. So
Right, and there's just there's no telling what went on in the background. That's the
no,
issue. We don't know.
I
Just like
I
with
all
why
I have
Nick
to
Evers wasn't getting snaps type of deal.
all I have to all I have to say on that is if someone you like isn't getting snaps, there's probably a reason. Most football coaches aren't going to put a guy in the doghouse and then not play him just because. So
Right, right.
yeah,
The-
so if I mean so ask your question. Yeah, so I mean so ask your questions about consistency and everything. But yeah, if that guy, yeah, if those guys, but yeah, if the guys you want to play, if a guy you hate just keeps on playing, I wonder what the guy behind him plays like. So
like Justin Broyles.
yeah,
So here, okay, then I'll take a different route with the O line, because really you don't know with it, and that's true. Anton Harrison obviously earned his spot. He was probably the best guy on the O line. It's probably why he's going to the draft. I think he's going to be a second round pick, because I
he
think if
could
he
be.
stays one more year and gets that senior bulk, yeah, he'll be a first round, maybe even a top 10 pick. Right now, I don't see him as a first round.
Uh, I have him late first round. I have him late first round, early second round. Someone, someone could definitely reach on him in the first round if they want to, if they want an offensive tackle. But he's not. But yeah, he's not one of those guys who, like Wills, Becton, Werfs, any of the Iowa guys or even Wisconsin guys who can just
Right.
come in, who just come in and it's like, oh man, yeah, these guys are different. These guys are like top offensive linemen. These guys are, these guys are could be like Pro Bowlers from week one, which does happen with offensive line.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's rare, but yeah, it does happen.
It's rare, but it is
Mhm.
it's uncommon. Obviously, like I said, Anton Harrison going in. McCade Matauer, no, he didn't earn his spot. Rame, he did, but there was nobody behind him, and we know that for a fact. Wanye, Chris Murray. Chris Murray, I always felt was very hit or miss. When he was focused, it was great, but man, he had so many backbreaking penalties for us. I would personally say he did
No,
not earn his spot,
no,
and he's probably up there with McCade as how bad he was in the sense of he did so many mental errors for it. Like he I don't know what he was thinking. And then now here's the big one, Wanye Morris. Now I've been vocal. Wanye did not earn his spot. We are pretty kind of aware that he was not a team player. Do you think he's going to get picked up in the draft? Because I've seen a lot where they're like, why is he going now?
yeah, yeah. I think he'll get picked up in the draft. You
When?
late round, like late round, probably sixth, maybe seventh round. The thing you need to think. The thing is about the draft, unless the unless you're just so much of a red flag that teams don't want to deal with you. If you have that pedigree and you have and they think you have that talent, they'll do
Yeah,
it. I mean, like the only guys who like if you have if you have the talent to be in the top 7 rounds, you're probably unless there's a real red flag that makes guys hit that makes them just hate that makes them too nervous about you. And I mean, even then, even then you can find it. Even then, you can find a team that's like, well, yeah, well, I mean, well, this guy could easily, it's like, look at Tyreek Hill. I mean, he lost value going to the third round, but He was talented enough to overcome it. So yeah,
Yeah,
never bet against the cynicism of NFL teams is my point. So even if he's not
that's fair.
even if he's not, even if there's some questions about him being a team player, yada yada yada. For if he's if he's a second round talent, I can get in the fifth round. You know what? Maybe I'll take a look at him. I'm not even sure he's a second round talent, but he's going. He'll go late, but he'll get a shot.
Yeah, yeah. It is what it is for it. I think next week we'll cover the defense for it just to give us more content for next week. For it as we get ready for the Cheez It Bowl here in a couple weeks. So I do want to cover some of the other stuff as well. So obviously, I think if that's okay with you, Andrew, do you have
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
to add to the offense with it? Because
No,
I think that's the best route we can take on it at this point. Is would you start them on based on the body of work we had with 12 games this year, and are they draftable if they qualify for it? Like obviously, like
yeah,
um what's his name? I forgot his name. Like Farouk. He can't qualify for
Farouk
the
can't go.
NFL,
Yeah.
but he did earn his spot type of
Oh,
deal. And
definitely.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah. Huh.
I think that's what Brent's got to take in mind is he has to take every single one and tell everybody, you don't have a starting spot. You have to earn it. And some of them, it would be easy. Like Gray, if he stayed one more year, if he had it, yeah, he'd earn his spot. Rame, I think he'd lose his spot. That type of deal with it. But it is what it is. But I did want to move on for it. Obviously, if people didn't see with it as well, that with the transfer portal and everything, there's the rumors about Peyton Bowen, but I think he is waiting until the early signing day for it. But that all being said, we did get the transfer from the as Sean put it on Sunday, joking with
Two
you and me,
brothers.
two brothers. We did get both Dason and I think I'm saying it wrong, Day McLeod. I'm probably saying it wrong with it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm terrible with names. The brothers, we got them. They did commit, which is great. And then we also got. I need to go really fast. Go to my place that I visit. It's public for it, but it looks like that. They also forecasted Akana out of Texas. He's going to be a great replacement over Colton Vasek, and it looks like he is the number one edge. I think it is out of Texas, and then like the 125th best player. He's part of the 2023 class. He's a 4-star. They are projecting him to sign with OU at that point, which are great pickups. Like regardless of what people are saying, like these are going to be good replacements, and we're finally seeing Brent's guys in, and that's what it. Oh, and eventually I'll get to that in future stuff. But that's my thing is based on the first year body work, Brent was very shaky for it. Now, if we're seeing what guys he's getting in, let's see what he can do before we make final judgments or anything for it. But you can definitely
Yep.
say first year was not impressed. And that's very fair. I will bring that up again in the future. But that's kind of the news with the portal and everything. There's some other guys that they're targeting. There's some other guys that they offered. For example, I saw that OU offered Reedy Mustafaraj. They offered him just yesterday. From it. I was trying to see if there was anybody else that they offered for it. Oh, and of course, the Austin Stogner. We mentioned on Sunday, Stogner's coming back, which is going to be great because not only does he come back from the with experience, which is what we need. Stogner also brings like what they want out of a big tight end. And quoting Teddy and Gabe from it, he's going to play a very traditional role with it, which I think that's what Stogner wants. And this is just going to increase his draft stock. But the prodigal son is returning essentially from it. So, but we got some good guys from the transfer portal so far, but
Yep.
it's not done. But there hasn't been any other news from it.
No.
The only other news from and I forgot to put it on the main title and stuff. Obviously, everyone has seen like the OU Texas news that the OU Texas stuff like it could happen from and this is what it comes down to. OU Texas, it does
Money.
look like it's going to be 2024. Well, and it's more than just money.
Yeah.
It comes down to that. Look, OU Texas don't want to stay till 2025. They don't. And the Big 12 schedule should release tomorrow because it's like tomorrow is the last day they can release it type of deal. That's my understanding. Um, But OU and Texas, they want to do that. Fox wants playoff money. So I think what's going to happen is ESPN's going to relent some of the playoffs, so they can get some of that cash in. They're going to lower the buyout or whatever for OU Texas for it, and then problem solved. We're in the SEC by 2024. That's what it comes down to. Screw the Big 12. They're being
Yeah,
big old
and
crybaby, whiny babies, just like Elon Musk is.
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and tonight tonight the UC Regents did basically clear the way for UCLA to join the Big Ten. Not that,
With
not
with
not that
the
there was any.
exception of a Berkeley tax,
Oh yeah, but
which is so stupid. Like, I get it. They want money from the central areas and stuff too, but still, it just cracks me up for it.
it's
Obviously both, yes, UCLA.
yeah, yeah. I mean, with yeah. I mean, well, with UCLA, I mean, there are some good things here because I mean, it's very obviously, people, I mean, you can talk all you want about it here, but at least they're paying lip service to what having to travel from California to Ohio is going to do to some of these student athletes. Uh, get away
Correct,
from the West
correct.
Coast. Get away from the West Coast. Your parents can't see all your game. Your parents, man, it's like it's you'll see fewer games, and
Right.
at least there is at least they did pay lip service, even though we know it's happening and there's nothing anyone can really do. At least there's at least lip service that hey, this might affect some student athletes, but it's happening because money. So
Money. Yep.
money.
And it's just too, like, someone asked, well, if UCLA has to stay, they have to ask another school. And someone asked, why not like Washington State? I'm like, you just answered your own question. No one wants
Yeah, no
Washington
one wants it.
State because of
Yeah,
location
no one wants
alone.
Washington State. Yeah, no,
It's like West Virginia. With all due respect, people don't want West Virginia because of the location. Get an airport. Then we
yeah,
talk.
exactly. I mean, they take Oregon instead of UCLA, but I mean UCLA. It's happening with UCLA. There's nothing.
They were
There's
grandstanding.
nothing. Yeah. Oh,
They wanted
definitely. The
they
thing
wanted a
is,
little bit more money from what's it called, Andrew? The stuff, and then they're like, okay, we're good.
There's all the ones who voted no, they at least want to be able to say, well, I voted no on this because no, because trust me, I mean, a few of the trust me, once they knew it was going to pass, a few of those no votes were, shall we say, cynical, cynical or calculated. Because here's the thing: if it goes well, nobody remembers you voted no. If it goes badly, well, I voted no on this, so.
Right. Right. Besides that though, I mean, we've had the busy stuff with it. Bowl season also starting this Friday. And I gotta get y'all's bowl picks to y'all because I was halfway through with the document and then just work and everything from the past couple days. I gotta get that to y'all like ASAPs and stuff starts tomorrow. But we do have our first bowl games and stuff starting tomorrow or on Friday, which we're getting like the Bahamas Bowl, the
Mhm.
Cure Bowl, and everything. I honestly look at the list on it from December 16th to December 17th. Honestly, in my opinion, the best game that's going to happen is probably going to be Louisville versus Cincinnati, old I think Big East opponents. Um,
Mhm.
right, right. Am I wrong there? I feel like I'm wrong now all of a sudden.
No,
Regardless,
no. Louisville versus Cincinnati are Big East. They're Big East opponents. There's also some fun thing. There's also a fun thing with that game where the old Louisville coach got hired by Cincinnati.
awkward.
Well, no. Here's the thing.
Showing
Okay,
your new girlfriend off.
no. Here's the thing. Louisville wanted him to leave. Louisville has hated him since he got there, and a season in, he talked to South Carolina in Louisville, like in I think it was in Bowling Green. So
Yeah,
Louisville fans have wanted him gone for years, but they haven't wanted to buy him out because, well, like it's Louisville, they can't really afford it, and he hasn't lost enough to justify it. So they've been in this awkward position where I don't know, man. Maybe it works out for Cincinnati, but if the old school is happy to see the coach go, I'd be afraid.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I was trying to see any others
Not like a
with it.
coordinator, because not like a coordinator, because people like to blame coordinators for everything. Oh, this guy is
Right.
bad. Oh, this guy. Well, this guy had a rough day on defense. It's the coordinator's fault. Come on, come on.
Right. I think the only other one that's interesting is BYU and SMU, but that's it.
I'll
There's
watch
some.
it.
Yeah, it's watchable. I'll put it that way. But yeah, looking at the rest from it, like moving on from that kind of final topic of tonight with it, because there's not once we mentioned it, there's not real delving into it. But I do want to say rest in peace, Mike Leach. He was one of the progenitors of like the next old. I call it the next old guard, but the next old guard that came up with the air raid. Like he's going to be a notable figure in college football. He definitely had a personality. We all miss that in college football. And definitely just was a outside of his politics with it that he would ever say so often everyone would like cringe at it. He was an okay dude. Um a lot of people are honoring him this weekend from it. Mike Leach with Texas Tech. They're gonna have the Jolly Roger on the helmet. Mississippi State said absolutely we're playing in the bowl game because they actually have a pirate ship type of deal. Like they said Mike Leach would be pissed if they didn't play the bowl game from
Oh
it. So
yeah.
this is a shock with it. And it's the same thing I say over and over. You got to take the brain stuff and the heart stuff very seriously.
Well, I mean,
Unfortunately, I mean, and rumor was like they told him before the season and he delayed it. You got to take care of it. Like there's no middle ground for it.
yeah. He also allegedly he had pneumonia too, which I mean, just even taking away lifestyle stuff, that puts so much stress on your heart and lungs. If you've if you have it long enough, it can affect you. Obviously, I mean, I don't want to speculate with it because I'm just because you just don't know. We're not doctors, but yeah, don't take harder brain stuff. That just don't take it lightly.
Yeah. What was your favorite Mike Leach moment?
You know what? I think my favorite Mike Leach moment had to be his fat little girlfriend's comment because that's just one of the most unhinged things I've ever heard a college coach say. It's like, did he just really say that?
Yeah.
Okay, 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 Mike. Okay, why not?
I do have to say I do give credit to a lot of places as well. Like whenever he had connections to OU posted about it, obviously.
Hmm.
Texas Tech has it at the scoreboard, even if he had to part on bad terms with Texas Tech for very obvious reasons with the shed stuff. Um, they still honored him with it. Florida had stuff on their scoreboard. It's just, you know what I'm really more shocked by? It's not even how he went because he was unhealthy. Like let's be honest, he was unhealthy. You could tell it. I'm surprised he passed away before Bill Snyder did. No one else has been talking about that. I'm like, that's really where I'm shocked at. Same thing with Spurrier.
No comment, really. No comment because you just never know. It's like those p. It's
Oh yeah, I mean it just
it's
as a
yeah.
age thing with it. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know it's an age thing, but it's just like who knows? You have like I mean, I can find like 303-year-olds who smoke cigarettes and eat bacon sandwiches every single day. Uh, there's who knows? Who knows? So.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, definitely gonna be one of those. It's gonna be I'm curious when they're gonna induct him into the college football hall of fame. I think they're gonna make a exception for him because of
They
his connection to
should.
the air raid with it. I think they will.
They
So
should. They should. It's like I get it. I get you want standards, but it's 3 wins. It's not. This isn't a guy who had like a 400 winning percentage or something. Like, if it was that, if it was that, I'd I'd probably say no, don't do it. He's been, I mean, he was beneficial. He had a great moment, but let's be serious here. But
yeah,
no, he's close enough. He's close enough. It's not
it's not baseball.
if he wasn't yeah if he was like I if he was far away I have issues, but it's yeah, to me there's just no good reason not to do it. when it's close. Obviously 400 winning percentage or something, I'd be like, no, let's be real. He came up with a good system, but it didn't work. But where he is, yeah, no, let Leach into the Hall of Fame, make an
Mm-hmm.
exception. It's I don't know if they will, because then they might. Because then making one for him, I have to make one for everyone. But yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, you never know. You never know.
Hmm.
Sweetie, that's really all I have tonight. I only had about an hour and a half, hour 15 minutes, hour and a half playing because while there's a lot of information, it's like little sound bites type of deal. Like OU Texas going, here's it, that's it. There's no additional info with it.
Hmm.
UCLA 11-5 vote, that's it. Whoever the five
Hmm.
votes were is probably their opportunity to grandstand. That's it. There's no other thing. It's just they extended it out. The Mike Leach stuff was the biggest one. The position stuff as well as just the not UCLA stuff, the bowl game stuff. That's
Hmm.
it. That was it. So, Swiggy, do you got any final comments or anything for tonight, buddy?
Let's see. Anything? Let's see. Anything? Not re- Mhm. Not really. I guess the only thing I have to say is, I guess Elon Musk on Twitter has declared war on college football fans, saying you can't show public flight data. Which good luck with that. good, good luck with that, man. Uh, you always have the people. You always have the people who follow coaches' planes. There's a plane going from Norman. There's a plane going from Norman to Baton Rouge. Or
Yeah.
come on, he's gonna try, but I mean, all of college football Twitter is against. If he actually does stick with that, all of college football Twitter is going to be against that man, because you cannot take away people's rights to say you cannot take away my right to look where the head coach to see where there's a plane there's a plane going from there's a like Ohio State fans, I'll just use them. Oh, there's a flight going from Nashville, Tennessee to Columbus. Mike Vrabel has to be on it. He's going from the NFL to college.
So what you're telling me is the college football fan base is about to bully Elon off his own stuff again.
I mean, during head coaching season, yes. All that stuff, all that stuff. I just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure he checked that out with a lawyer, and it's a super official terms of service. But yeah, I'm sure some lawyers are gonna like that. But we'll see.
It is what it is. So, guys, I want to thank y'all for joining tonight. I saw we actually almost got to 10 viewers tonight, so I really do appreciate that. Be sure, guys, to comment, rate, subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live or when I upload a video, as well as tell friends, guys. We want a full house. We want to have people interact in the chat. We want to bring up stuff that y'all may be thinking about. Be sure to type in the chat as well. Like, do whatever. We really want to interact with y'all and talk about it. So, John, thank you for asking the question stuff as well with the Bowen. We still answered it, I hope for that. Even though it was AEW, we still appreciate y'all throwing stuff in there. And at the very end, like I said, something I'm going to start doing, guys, in light of Jason Dave and Frank committing suicide, guys, remember the number to call is 988 if you're having a mental health crisis. Remember, we want you here, and there is obviously a better solution than a permanent solution to a short-term problem with it. Now, I'm not saying mental health is a short-term problem, but there are better solutions. We want you here to be able to help you. So again, that number is 988. I know it's ending on like a somber note, but mental health is very important. We don't take it seriously enough in this nature. And it's something I'm going to be passionate about going forward. So 988 guys. And of course, we're always here too. We're a family, guys. We're a family of 87,000 people at the stadium. Hey, that extends out of the stadium as well. So next week, guys, I think we're going to cover obviously whatever the early signing day stuff is, as well as any other additional transfer portal stuff on Wednesday, and also as well as what's it called? Um, that probably the schedule, and then anything additional. Oh, recapping the OU defense, kind of what we did tonight. Of did they have their starting position? Did they not earn it or anything with it? One
Uh,
final thing to know: I do not know if I will live stream on Sunday. I may be busy that evening. Where I'm playing it by ear at the moment, just because I have a friend coming to visit and I want to spend time with her. So I have not decided yet for it because she's flying in. So if you see this stuff, if you see me on Twitter with it, you'll never know. So Swiggy, you had one final thing?
Nope, I don't have anything.
Oh, I thought you had something. So, all right, guys,
Nope.
I'm going to let y'all go. Boomer Sooner, only one Oklahoma. Happy holidays. And I'll either see y'all Sunday or we'll be back here next Wednesday to talk more football stuff. Catch everybody later. Have a good evening.
Bye.